What's up, guys? Coming to you live from a green screen in Louisville, Kentucky. By the way, guys, this is not a green screen. I know that some of you guys may be new to the channel because I've gotten a lot of questions of like something Chewy green screen, but this is not a green screen. This is my mats right here. I think the deal, this is what I think it is. The deal is that I have the lights coming in from behind me. It gives me this little glow, and you guys think this is a green screen, but it's a real gym. If you guys ever come here to Louisville, Kentucky, you will see my blue mats. Anyway, on to today's question, which is from Chris, and it's about trash talk and controversy in combat sports, mainly jiu-jitsu. And he's wondering, first off, what my opinion on trash talk and controversy is, but then also, is it like necessary that these top-tier black belts that might be normally humble need to, or how do they approach the growing trend in BJJ and combat sports that places a premium on trash talk and controversy in order to get new fights? Is it something that they should do, or can they just avoid it altogether? Like, just looking for some ideas on it, but also looking for my opinion on it. So, brother, thank you for the question. So, let's jump into it. Chris, I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but trash talk has existed in sports for a long time, right? I mean, just off the top of my head, one of the most revered athletes that I can think of in combat sports is like Muhammad Ali from Louisville, Kentucky, often now seen as a hero. But during his day, he was a polarizing figure, bro. I mean, he was polarizing. He would talk trash in his very poetic way, you know, and he was one of his nicknames, right? Because he's known as the greatest. He's also known as the Louisville Lip. That was one of his other nicknames. Would talk trash, you know, had a big mouth that had no problem sharing what he thought about anything. And again, a lot of people loved him. A lot of people hated him. People came to watch him win. People came to watch him lose. He made a lot of money and got a lot of fights because of it. And again, he's known around the world now because of it as well, and because of him sharing his opinions on things. He was also a really good fighter, by the way. That's a big deal. Another fighter worth sort of thinking about in this trash talk idea is Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen had a persona of he still does, the bad boy from the mean streets of Westland, Oregon. So ridiculous. But again, and I kind of like his. I kind of liked his trash talking persona because it was so over the top. It was almost like pro wrestling. I loved it. I thought it was funny. I would tune in to watch him see what he was going to say on an interview because it was so ridiculous sometimes. I still watch his channel now because I find him kind of entertaining. And so again, you can think about that. He was a guy who was a good fighter, was definitely doing well. He's above average, but he got some big fights in his day, some super big fights because of his ability to talk trash, get under people's skin, and just to generate attention for himself. Now, you said, I'm using those as an example for a second. You were saying that people put a premium, or that the sports place a premium on trash talk and controversy. It's not the sports that place the premium on them. It's us. It's you and me. It's people that watch the sports. Because we get interested in it because it's entertaining to us. It gets us something to, ooh, what's going on over there, right? We watch it. I don't really care for the trash talk where it just gets kind of like mean and where we're talking about family and stuff. I don't really like that stuff. But like when they're like, again, like Chael Sonnen's, like where it's kind of like over the top and it's fun, I kind of like it. I think it's entertaining. But again, people a lot of times in Western society, especially the United States, are kind of bored. I mean, bro, you can probably meet your needs in the United States if you live here pretty easily. You can get your base necessities down pretty easily. And then that leaves you with time to go, huh, what am I doing here? And so people throw stuff in front of you to get you pissed off or get you to nod your head and say yes. Think about the news. The news does this every single week. It seems like the news is changing to some new story that's designed either to really piss you off or to make you go, uh-huh, I agree with that. So the fighters are doing the same thing. And again, if we didn't respond to it, they wouldn't do it. But we do respond to it, so they keep doing it. It's not the sports, it's us. It's the fans, it's people watching it. They're the reason that they're doing it. Now, that said, trash talk and controversy are only one way to create a connection with your audience and your fans and the people that you're following you along for this ride in your athletic career, right? There are other examples, because I used the two trash talking examples, right? There's other examples of people in sports who have done it in a different way. So for instance, a really high level sport athlete with not combat sports, was Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, when I was a kid, was a big deal. I mean, the dude was like on all kinds of commercials. He was on video games and everything else. I mean, the guy was everywhere. And he had this persona called Primetime, because I know some of you guys may be too young for this. Primetime. Deion Primetime Sanders, right? So if you listen to him in interviews, he talks about Prime or prime time almost as a different person. You know, he'll even say, yeah, man, that was prime. That wasn't Dion. And what he was doing was he was putting on these big gold chains. He was a good-looking guy. He was a phenomenal athlete. He played in the National Football League. He was in the Major League Baseball. He was playing two high-level sports at a high level at the same time. And at the same time, he was also this very sort of arrogant and brash attitude in interviews. And again, it was very entertaining for people. Now, check this out. By doing that, he was able to make a lot of money for himself and do a lot in his career. But the flip side to this is that was his primetime persona. When he wasn't in front of the camera, the guy didn't smoke, didn't drink, doesn't cuss. And from what I understand, from what I've gathered, when I've read about him and listen to interviews and stuff like that, he's a family guy. He's a family man. So there's this guy that he plays to make money, and then there's the guy that he actually is when he's not doing all that stuff, right? And so that's another example of a guy who, and he didn't talk a lot of trash back then. I mean, he would say stuff, but he wouldn't try to take people's names through the mud necessarily. And then in this video with you right now, I'm putting on a bit of a persona. Now, granted, if you meet me, you will probably say, Chew, you're the same person that you are in the videos. That just happened tonight, and that happens usually all the time. People say, man, you're like the same guy in the videos, which is cool. But this person that I am in the videos and the person that I am in my jiu-jitsu classes is kind of a bit of a persona. Because, for instance, in my jiu-jitsu class, if someone comes into my gym and I'm getting ready to teach them something, some technique that I'm excited about that I want to share with them, I need to be excited about it. I need to have some energy coming through so that they're excited about it. I mean, do you remember being in your 9th grade math class with your geometry teacher who's just droning on and drawing pictures on it's terrible. There's no excitement to it. When I'm doing these videos with you, if I'm sharing ideas I want to be useful to you or to maybe just get you to think about, I've got to be excited about it. If I'm not excited about it, you're not going to watch this. Could you imagine me talking to you like this and, just hanging out? It would be boring. It wouldn't be interesting at all. And so again, there's a bit of a persona there. And again, it's an exaggeration of my personality. It's not fake. Granted, we are all of us are different people to different people. You're going to be a different way to your fiance or your husband or whatever, your mother, your father, your friends, your family, your work colleagues. Every one of us puts on a different sort of mask for those people, depending on the situation. We're different people to different people. And so again, that's just the way that this persona is who I am with you guys and in class and things like that. But I'm a different person in different times of my life. So there doesn't always have to be the trash talk and controversy to gain an audience or to give yourself more opportunities as an athlete. Does it make sense? So that's what I think about it. The long-winded answer. I don't necessarily like the nasty trash talking. When it's done for entertaining fashion specifically, I think it's fun. But that's kind of what it is. But again, it comes down to us as the audience. If we stopped enjoying it, they would stop doing it because it wouldn't connect. Simple as that. Now, the other side to your question was, do I think that they need to do it? And in that sense, I think that if you are an athlete and you are trying to gain more opportunities, then you absolutely should share something that people can connect with. Yes, you can share controversial topics that maybe you and your audience might connect with, right? You could share something that's going to really piss people off. I don't tend to do that because, it's just not my thing. I'm very much my mind, I'm always changing my ideas on stuff. So I'm not hard and fast on a lot. There are some beliefs that I have, but a lot of stuff is shifting, and especially with political stuff, I don't jump into that stuff like a lot of people do because it's it changes so much. And until I get a really good grip of what I think about it, I'm not going to put my place there, but you could do it if you want. Or you could create a persona and an exaggerated version of yourself that shares stories and shares ideas of who you are, that connects with people. That's another powerful way to do it. I was Couch, Jacob Couch, he's a friend of mine. And, he competes at Pedigo. He's doing real well for himself. And, he's in the Flow Grappling that has that series on the Daisy Fresh guys, right? And, they did that little thing, that little sort of documentary-like thing on him specifically, kind of going through his story. And it was a really cool story. And I've been hanging out with him at tournaments and seen him and overheard people come up to him and tell him his story. Oh man, I saw that thing about you on the Flow Grappling or whatever. And they're talking about biscuits and gravy and stuff. And you see that they're connecting with him. So that's one way to do it. And so again, if you are an athlete, if you are trying to take care of yourself, and because again, athletes have a shorter career span than a traditional career where you're at a sit-down job or something right there. So you have to get it while you got it. And so if you want to, you should probably create a persona. You can go the trash talk route, but you could also go the route where you just share ideas or maybe share bits and pieces of yourself through your almost an exaggerated version of yourself through your different medias that you have access to. So that is my thoughts on all that stuff, Chris. Hopefully that's useful to you in for your question. And for the rest of you, hopefully it was useful, and maybe, if not, hopefully it was entertaining. So anyway, that is the answer to the question. I'll talk to you guys next time.